Hello, subs. Just a quiet little... Oh, what's that flashing lights over our shoulder?
You'll have to see our live on Sunday evening, Vlogmas.
So the Prince Andrew story is set to be reignited on Monday with the Panorama interview with Virginia Roberts, although I thought her name was Virginia Giffrey.
Giffrey?
That was her name originally, wasn't it? Has it always been Virginia Roberts?
I think so.
Excuse the cough. So Prince Andrew, since his interview, has gradually been removed from public service, ground to a halt.
He's even had his birthday party cancelled.
He was even made to sit on the naughty step. I mean, I'm being light-hearted here, and I shouldn't be. But no,
serious.
On Monday, Virginia Roberts' explosive Panorama interview, as they're describing it, lands, and we will be watching it. And a trailer has just landed or there is a trailer knocking about for the Panorama episode.
Was this filmed after his interview? Is this a reaction to the interview?
That I don't know. Does anyone there know? I don't know.
Because we've certainly heard enough in the news that Andrew's interview, incensed the victims.
Yeah.
Because he at no point acknowledged them, any of them.
No, and I mean, we know that she's been very strident in stating on the steps of that court. Do you remember her saying, he knows what he did, he just needs to admit it, and I know what he did.
And of course now, the photo is proven because he was so dodgy around that photo. I wasn't upstairs. Well, how do you know if it wasn't upstairs? Because he then said, I've never been upstairs.
And then we had a wider shot of him upstairs.
And there we were, the wider shot, and now it's, it seems to be a genuine photo. She must be powered on by that because, that's been there's been a lot of dispute around that photo, and almost like that, there's been so many suggestions that photo could be a lie or be doctored or whatever. So she must feel very vindicated.
Well, she must be. Though, you wonder whether they made a huge effort to tell us that they'd taken 6 months to set up the Prince Andrew interview, which for me was a little bit Lady Doth Protest too much. There's no way Newsnight's scheduling was so busy they wouldn't have accepted an interview with Prince Andrew with all this bubbling about.
You'd say 6 months anyway, because it makes you sound like you were guilty in a way, like you had to spend 6 months.
But what they were trying to infer was that an interview process was in place about something different, and this wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. That's what they were.
He thought he was going to be talking about his charity work.
That's what he. But I didn't feel any of that rang true for me. So here's the thing: if that didn't ring true, if that wasn't true, and their interview was quite sort of quickly cobbled together, wrongly advised, and all that kind of stuff, perhaps Prince Andrew's side of things knew that this interview was coming, and they tried to head it off at the breach. See what I'm saying?
I see. Because we all kept saying, didn't we? It's like something's happened.
Precisely.
Why has he suddenly decided?
Precisely. And I think it's less likely that this was necessarily shot in response to Prince Andrew's interview, but this was already waiting in the wings, and Prince Andrew's team got wind of it and wanted to kind of fire their shot and sort of get their sort of lay of the land out first. So that leads to a number of other assumptions about this interview on Monday. It could be, like the Prince Andrew interview, incredibly revealing, and that Panorama and the BBC are holding back the best bits or the most salacious bits until the day, or until really the press pushes can probably start on Sunday and Monday, isn't it? Yeah? You've got to think of these things. They're trying to push this. So what we might be about to get might be really a retreading or rehearing what Virginia Roberts has said in all the public interviews that we've seen so far. Because if you think about it, the most interesting parts of the Prince Andrew weren't the quotes that they were trotting around as the trailer the night before. You know what I mean? Yeah. All of the kind of interesting. We thought we'd seen the highlights.
The best. We couldn't believe it when there was so much more.
No.
And of course, there's now all these questions as to whether this whole thing has been investigated properly with the charge of sex trafficking. Yeah. I mean, the suggestion being that if he weren't a prince, would this have had a full investigation by police here if a young girl's been trafficked?
Well, I think if trafficking, if he's in any way involved in trafficking in any way, he has to be interviewed under caution of some form. I'd have thought by American authorities.
I doubt very much that he knew she was being trafficked.
No, I mean, that's what I've suggested all along. I think they would have kept that information away from him.
I don't think he would have known that.
Though she does say there was when they met, people were asking what her age was, and Prince Andrew guessed 17.
But
That's what she says.
That's legal here.
But it's not in America, is it?
Yeah. I wonder if he even knew that.
But here's the thing. My slight concern, and this isn't concern because I want the story to just kind of carry on. No. But it could be one of those interviews that's a bit like what's her name? Jennifer Arcuri. Where there's absolutely zero content and we're going to need Lorraine Kelly to waltz in and smash this one round the face too. Do you know what I mean? So it could be something, it could be nothing at this stage. This is just a brief trailer that's just landed online. So should we check it out?
It was a really scary time in my life.
The BBC speaks to the woman who says she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew, an allegation the prince categorically denies.
He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth.
What else is there to know from the documents?
Comment on that. You said you won't be silenced. He has been outspoken.
He knows what he's done, and he can attest to that. So
Can you repeat that? We can't hear you. Step up.
he knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it. Thank you.
It was a really scary time in my life.
The BBC speaks to the woman who says she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew, an allegation the prince categorically denies.
He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth.
So nothing new there. Nothing specific.
But as a programme maker...
I wouldn't lead. I would have lobbied hard not to lead with our most headline-creating quote.
But what I think when I see that is that's what we've heard her say 3, 4, 5 times now. So maybe that's all she's going to say.
Yeah, and that's why I think it could be an Arcuri situation. Not that she's in the same sort of situation at all, but that there might be a bit of a, there's a bit of fanning the flames
on
of
a Monday night.
Yeah.
It's Panorama.
What do you think, guys? Do you think she's going to have some sensational, revealing, news?
Well, I mean, I'm imagining, but we just don't know whether it was made before or after his interview, that what I'm imagining would be the best situation is that she is going to, one by one, give her version of everything that he said.
If it was an interview, that occurred after Prince Andrews, you would almost follow Emily Maitlis's structured interview and get her to give her side of every single answer that he gave.
Because he's had his side of the story in great detail. He gave us great detail about what his version of events are. And I mean, I still think that should have been in a court of law myself. I don't think it should have been on television.
Well, I think I wonder if there's some legal loophole that by appearing on television and giving as much information as he has...
Sorry, I just knocked it.
And giving as much information as he has, it somehow disallows it to go to court.
No, you couldn't have that. Then you'd have everyone on telly saying everything.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, that's what's so strange about it. It seems so misguided in so many incomprehensible ways.
I think it's just incomprehensible that anyone could be so foolish.
Does anyone know if this interview was done after the Prince Andrew one? That's the crucial bit of information I'd like to know. And if there was any other information to have been said, would she have not said it on the steps of the court? So I think, perhaps it's going to be what I would call a character documentary where you're going to not necessarily be given any truths or revelations or proof, because that's all it needs, isn't it, is further proof beyond what we have or what we've seen. It might be one of those character interviews, a bit like the Michael Jackson documentary, where the nation pretty much drew their judgments from the authenticity and veracity of the talking heads of the two victims. And I think it's going to be a case of us sort of almost, as you rightly say, juxtaposing the head of Prince Andrew answering those questions alongside her head. It is terrible, I think, with these kind of films, though, where you have the alleged victim doing a sort of follow-up interview. It's very hard for it not sometimes to seem like, for it not to be characterised and easy to sort of be criticised and pulled down as opportunistic and non-specific, a bit like Lorraine did with Arcuri. It's kind of like, just tell us it. Why are you coming on these? Just tell us it. If you've got something more. So she might not have anything more than what she's saying.
Lorraine was so brilliant on that.
Yeah, this woman might not have any more than she's saying, and that doesn't disallow her from saying it. But I just think from watching a documentary perspective, it'll be intriguing. I'll know in the first 2 minutes whether it's going to be revelatory or
We shall have to wait and see.
Yeah, but we'll be going live after it anyway.